Des, let's start with the Austin Trusty, because Celtic have appealed it this evening. Obviously hoping that it's overturned and that Austin Trusty is not suspended from the Old Firm game at Ibrox. First of all, I'll ask you a simple question. Will they win their appeal?
I don't know.
Okay.
For me, and I'd say I'm just home. For me, it's never a red card. Matthew McDermott, when you're looking there, he's what, 8 yards away?
5 yards away, clear view, nobody in between them, sees the whole thing.
And how many times have we seen this incident play out for the last 4 years that we've had VAR? But this is one that they decide to get involved in. There's grappling, there's pulling, there's pushing. Do you know what? All you need there is Matthew McDermott to be a bit proactive and just blow the whistle, pull the two of them in, and say, "What are you up to? Get your hands off each other. Don't be stupid.
Behave yourselves.
Behave yourselves.
And maybe give Trusty a yellow card.
At the worst. At the worst. So it can only be sent off for serious foul play or violent conduct. I don't think that falls within the parameters for any of them.
Here's the deal that I've got, Des, and you tell me if you think there's anything in this. At full speed, when the referee's standing there 5 yards away, unobstructed view, he's decided there's nothing there that constitutes violent conduct. Yes. When you slow it down, however, and it's in slow motion, it does start to look like violent conduct. I think there's a bit too much aggression. It's not. You've seen it 100 times. You see it 100 times every game. People grappling, waiting for dead balls to come in. People holding shots and get away. Trusty, there's a striking movement there. Now, for me, it shouldn't be a red card. But I said I'm open to be convinced on this one because it was a little bit too aggressive. I think it was stupid, and it's not the first time Austin Trusty's been guilty of stupidity. He got away with one, the Jack Butland one at Hampden. I think look, if it's down to me, I don't want red cards for that. But when you slow that down, I think there is an argument, which is why I don't think he'll win his appeal. I think there's an argument and a validation there to say that was overly aggressive, violent.
So aggressive and violent are two different things.
Yeah,
two different things entirely. If it went for a caution for an aggressive action, okay, I don't think it's the worst, but I can buy it, I can accept it. But I'm not having violence for it, and I'm not having serious foul play for it to be sent off. But I'm also not as VAR, because VAR can't get involved for a yellow card.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't be involved for that. So VAR was Grant Irvin, and he's obviously deemed upon himself for it to be violent, which is therefore Grant Irvin refereeing that game.
Well, that's exactly Scott's point from I know you missed it, but that was Scott's point, and he's absolutely spot on. I thought the whole thing about VAR was I'm not going to be re-refereeing the game here, but we'll use it as a safety blanket. There are instances, and that one is perfect, a perfect example of it, where guys are sitting in the studio thinking, nah, I know the rules and I can apply the rules better than the guy that's out in the pitch.
Which is entirely wrong. That's why the guy's on the pitch in the first place, because he's the manager, he's the boss. That's Martin O'Neill on the pitch, and he's got Sean Maloney and Mark Folling as his two assistants, and he's got somebody in the stand who are offering their opinions. What I would have liked to have seen was Matthew McDermott to come across and say, nah, I'm not having that. If he wanted a yellow card, which VAR couldn't have got involved in, then fine. But as long as I'm watching that game there and seeing it, and understand what you're saying, slow it down and frame by frame, you can make anything look violent, you can make anything look different. To me, it's a pulling together. Enough's enough. Give him a good rollicking, and then the corner comes in and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, because then all we're talking about is that Liam Scales gets pulled down and Celtic don't get a penalty in the very next action. So,
which is worse.
What was your view on that?
That was a penalty kick. There was a clear penalty kick. Scales as well. You've got it on the screen there. Iredale has got a hold of his arm. He's got a hold of his jersey. And if you look straight behind again, pair of black socks. How close is he to it? What I would say is he doesn't need to be looking at the ball, because the ball's only going to come one place. the ball's going to land in there. That's what the assistant referee's for. They're there
Yeah,
to
nobody's
watch
going to foul the ball.
Yeah. So what the referee should be doing, and he's probably switched off, the referee should be looking at what's going on at that moment in time in the penalty area. The ball's coming in anyway. But to me, that is a clear and obvious error, and VAR should have been involved in that.
Why would they not then, Des? Is that just a case of, I heard someone saying earlier on today, it's because the ball wasn't going to Scales, it was too far away from him that he was going to impact it. Is that maybe why they've not called it over?
See it, and I've heard that as well, saying that because Scales wasn't going to get the ball. I'm sorry, that's not the rules. That's not the laws of the game. That's not what it's there for. You're there to make an opinion on an incident in front of you. A player has been pulled, he's been grappled inside the penalty area. I mean, we're getting guys sent off for running away from the halfway line and getting trips left, right, and centre. That's as clear a penalty kick as you're going to get, Scott. It doesn't matter where, if he's going to get it or not. You act upon the incident that you can see, and why VAR has chosen to get involved in something needlessly and ignore there, because that's got a far. I mean, that's a potential goal. That's a potential red card. It's a potential penalty kick. It's a completely wrong call.
We should say we've got tons of comments coming in on this, and if you're watching at home, you want to get involved in the debate, please do so. Fire your questions in for Des. I'll maybe come to the comments afterwards because we've got a lot
just,
of.
Just to say, guys, in case you've not, I've escaped my Guantanamo cell, so
We were just saying that, Des. It's good to have you a bit of freedom. That's brilliant.
I've managed to kick the kids out of the study room, so Dad can get a chance to use it for a change.
And come out the cave.
Keith opened his wallet and paid the ransom.
That's it.
The next one we should probably talk about when we talked about the top of the show before you come in, Des. The Mikey Moore.
Hold on.
Go on.
Right. The Scales one. Is it possible that they've looked at it and thought, yes, there's contact, yes, there's a shirt tug, but he's thrown himself and he's looking for it?
No. Shouldn't be.
No,
I wouldn't have thought. Well, if he's thrown himself and looking for it, it should be a free kick to Hibs then.
Right, okay. Because I think that Celtic might have had a stronger penalty shout than that in the game. And I think it was in the first half when Rocky Bashiri is bear hugging Fanchara inside the penalty box from behind. Now, should that not get looked at?
I think when I was watching the highlights, I thought that was obvious because you can see Rocky Bashiri's two arms right round the front and pulling him back. The only thing I can think of is the referees thought it's two strong physical athletes having a go at each other. Is it one causing more than the other? And
does he also think he's turned up at Murrayfield and no Celtic Park?
Possibly, but I did think that as well. I thought that's maybe a clear pull. But on the Scales one, that's a penalty kick.
Just to confirm, that Celtic been done out of 2 penalties and had a man sent off that shouldn't have been. About tonight.
According to Keith.
I'm inconsequential in this, Des. You're the man in the middle.